Good morning. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to morning news source, only here at the Daily Tribune. We're now live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, and a Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For today's headlines. After days of speculation about a possible coup, Senate President Tito Soto confirmed Wednesday that an attempt to unseat him was made, but the majority blocked it and it ultimately failed. The House Committee on Justice dismissed two impeachment complaints filed against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Wednesday, citing insufficiency in substance. Divers are preparing for high-risk penetration maneuvers after sonar technology located the wreckage of the MV Trisha Kirsten 3, resting 76 meters below the surface of Baluk Island. Malacanang yesterday called on those behind the efforts to impeach President Marcos to move forward as it expressed elation over the dismissal of the complaints, which it described as weak and without merit. More than 250 people have been killed in coordinated attacks launched by the separatists across Pakistan's Balochistan province since Saturday, with the fighting continuing as government forces pursue the militants. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index declined on Wednesday, slipping to 0.45% to 6,372.95 as investors turned cautious amid lingering uncertainties surrounding the domestic economic outlook. Miss World Philippines 2026 is Quezon City's Asia Rose Simpson, claiming the crown with a purpose-driven journey. David Wolf, a towering figure in Jewish amateur football, has died at 81, leaving a legacy spanning more than 7 decades. Today is the 5th of February 2026, Thursday, and I'm Eliana Lacap, bringing you today's top stories. Let's kick things off with today's weather. Tropical storm Bastiang continues to move west-southwest toward eastern Mindanao. Signal number 2 is hoisted over 8 areas including Surigao del Norte, Surigao del Sur, Davao Oriental, Agusan del Norte, Agusan del Sur, Misamis Oriental, Bukidnon, and Camiguin. Heavy rainfall of 100 to 200 mm is expected in these areas, with 50 to 100 mm in parts of southern Leyte, eastern Samar, and nearby provinces. Gale warnings are in effect over the eastern Visayas and Mindanao, with sea travel highly risky. Bastiang is forecasted to make landfall over Surigao del Sur Thursday night, across Mindanao, then move toward Bohol Sea and southern Negros Oriental. Now let's move on to this morning's headlines. Senate President Tito Soto confirmed an attempt to unseat him was made but failed after the majority bloc closed ranks. Speculation pointed to Senator Lauren Legarda as a possible replacement, though Soto said she declined the post. Claims of a term-sharing deal were denied by Soto, but described by Deputy Majority Leader J.V. Ejercito as informal lounge talk. Tensions briefly rose when Legarda presided and was addressed as Madam President, before Majority Leader Migs Zubiri moved to adjourn. The drama unfolded as a Blue Ribbon Committee report recommending corruption charges against several minority senators awaits sufficient signatures. Now, the House Committee on Justice dismissed two impeachment complaints against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., ruling both insufficient in substance. Lawmakers overwhelmingly voted to junk the complaint filed by lawyer Andre De Jesus and the Makabayan Bloc, citing the lack of clear and factual allegations directly linking the president to impeachable offenses. The panel stressed that policy decisions or alleged bureaucratic lapses do not automatically warrant impeachment. Malacanang welcomed the ruling, saying due process was observed, as the panel reconvenes on February 9th. Divers have located the wreckage of the MV Trisha Kirsten 3, 76 meters below the surface of Baluk Island, prompting the Philippine Coast Guard to shift from search and rescue to search and retrieval. Using advanced side-scan sonar funded by the local government of Haji Muhammad, technical divers will conduct high-risk penetration dives to recover bodies believed trapped inside the ferry. The vessel sank on January 26 en route from Zamboanga City to Jolo. Authorities have confirmed the 43 deaths, 316 survivors, and around 40 still missing, raising concerns over an inaccurate passenger manifest and possible overcrowding. Malacanang welcomed the dismissal of impeachment complaints against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., calling them weak and without merit, and urged critics to move forward. Palace officials said due process was followed and highlighted the president's confidence that he committed no impeachable offense, while he remains focused on economic growth. Marcos was informed of the ruling during official engagements. Malacanang rejected claims the dismissal was due to House numbers, noting legal experts also found the complaints weak. The Armed Forces of the Philippines reaffirmed its non-partisan stance and trust in the democratic process. Now, more than 250 people have died in coordinated attacks by Baloch separatists across Pakistan's Balochian province since Saturday. Government forces continue pursuing the militants, with 197 insurgents reported killed. At least 36 civilians and 22 security personnel also died as attackers targeted banks, jails, police stations, and military posts. The Baloch Liberation Army, a U.S.-designated terrorist group, claimed the responsibility. Sporadic clashes continue while the UN condemned the assaults as heinous and cowardly, underscoring the ongoing threat in the mineral-rich Restiv province bordering Afghanistan and Iran. The Philippine Stock Exchange Index fell to 0.45% to 6,372.95 on Wednesday, as investors stayed cautious over economic uncertainties, including record-high national debt of 17.71 trillion pesos. Market turnover was below average at 6.4 billion pesos, though foreign investors remained net buyers with 279.62 million pesos in inflows. Mining stocks led the gains at plus 192%, while property dropped to 1.45%. Globe Telecom surged with 5.07%, topping blue chips, while San Miguel Core fell to 4.31%. The peso weakened to 58.97 peso per US dollar, pressured by debt concerns, a stronger dollar, and anticipation of January inflation data. Now, the Miss World Philippines 2026 celebrated courage, advocacy, and modern Filipina leadership, with Quezon City's Asia Rose Simpson taking the crown. Simpson also won the Beauty with a Purpose Award for her SEED program, promoting youth mental health through sports and dance. Finalists shown in Q&A swimsuit and evening gown segments, with Simpson's final answer linking social media, mental wellness, and creative empowerment. Her victory underscores a new era in pageantry where advocacy, emotional intelligence, and leadership stand alongside beauty, positioning her as a national and global ambassador for youth wellness and purposeful action. Now, David Wolf, a cornerstone of Jewish amateur football in the UK, has passed away at 81. He led the Maccabi GB Southern Football League from 1970, growing it from 12 to 66 teams and over 1,700 players, while also serving on the National Maccabi Football Committee. Wolf's impact extended to the London FA, earning him the Bobby Moore Grassroots Heroes Award and honorary president status. He mentored volunteers, strengthened league governance, and championed inclusion through football. Maccabi GB honored his lifelong contributions, cementing a legacy that continues to shape Jewish football and grassroots sport. Now, a quick look at today's horoscope. Today calls for harmony and attentiveness, Gemini. Hope feels warm and friendly, not chaotic, as the moon supports smooth interactions in your domestic spheres. Small routines like breakfast timing and shared chores go easier than usual. Financial surprises may appear from hidden sources, a refund, a forgotten commission, or a stuck payment. Mercury sharpens your mind, helping you spot a good deal if buying a house or a plot. Ask the right questions and double-check papers to ensure you come out ahead. Now, Tribune, did you know that on February 5 in 1842, the Wilkes Treaty was signed on Saung Island in Sulu, marking the first written agreement between the United States and the Philippines through the Sultanate of Sulu. The treaty was signed by Sultan Sri Paduka Maulana al-Sultan Mohammed Jamal al-Alam for the Sultanate of Sulu and U.S. Navy Commander Charles Wilkes. It aimed to encourage trade, ensure protection for American vessels and crews, and provide assistance in cases of shipwreck. This agreement laid the groundwork for early diplomatic and trade relations between the two nations. Now, this morning's viral comes from a TikTok video by Miss Nichi, which has garnered 1 million views and 120,000 likes. And I'm sure everyone can relate to that feeling of missing your bed when you have to go to school or work. But the way she says farewell will remind you of a TikTok meme that has gone viral. Let's watch this.
Pwede ako humiga. Kahit one last hug lang sa kumot ko. Hindi pwede. Yan na talaga yun. May tao ba dito? Sige, bye.
And that's all for now, mga katribu. Join us again at 1 o'clock p.m. for more updates. This has been Eliana Lacap for Tribune News on Q.